Colorado is Black America's team right now. It is. Colorado is Black America's team. And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. What you talking about first? Hold on. You finna be on this hating shit first? No. But I'm gonna explain some shit to you. But before I do, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining sports show in the game. Put it on something. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share, and put all your people on it. Okay. Let's get into it. There are numerous articles and videos coming out that are calling Colorado under the leadership of Deion Sanders Black America's team. Okay. And I see that some feel some type of way about that, include some of the real ones. But again, let's put it on something. I gotta keep it all the way real. They ain't lying. The articles are not lying. This team has captivated Black America. It has. You gotta remember, most Americans don't go to college. That includes Black America. Okay? So most don't have a personal vested interest in like an HBCU. And then of those Black Americans who go to college, 53% go to PWIs, at least based on data that comes from the government. Okay, 53% of a Black college student go to PWIs. Okay, again, if the number's wrong, if the data's wrong, charge that to the government. Okay, that comes from the U.S. Department of Education. Okay, so the majority of Black folks that go to college go to a PWI. And this is the PWI with the most swagger right now. It has the Black celebrity head coach who everybody loved to do. Well, most people loved during his playing career. Most people loved him during his broadcast career. Okay. People were captivated by him at Jackson State University. Okay. And now he's on the big stage. Okay. And they want to see him be able to go up and rise up and compete with the Nick Sabans and the Kirby Smarts and the Dabo Sweeneys and the Lincoln Rileys of the world. Okay. And these articles that are coming out compare Colorado to other PWIs that kind of had Black America in a chokehold. Michigan basketball with the Fab Five, featuring C-Webb, Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Shawan Howard. Remember them? Black America loved them motherfuckers. I remember being a child. Black America loved them motherfuckers. They were out there with the bald heads and the baggy shorts. Black America loved them motherfuckers. Georgetown basketball, led by a Black head coach and John Thompson. Okay. He had Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo. Eventually, he had Allen Iverson. Okay. If we stick to football, the U, Miami, captivated Black America. Okay. Whether it be the one in the 80s or it be the one with like Clinton Portis and all them boys. Ed Reed and all them boys. You feel me? Captivated. Black America. Okay. All the schools I named PWI. All of them. All of them had a white coach except for Georgetown. So what made black folk fuck with them? Because when Michigan was doing their thing, most of the other schools they were going against were running out 5 black boys too. Maybe not 5 dominant freshmen like that, but it was 5 black boys. The U, predominantly black team. Hell, all of them goddamn team predominantly black. Georgetown had a black head coach. But like Tubby Smith, when he was at Kentucky, he didn't get that kind of love that John Thompson got. So what made them teams different? It's like it was something about them and their charisma and how they carried themselves, whether it was the players or the coach. It was something about the way they played that black folks said, I relate to that. So that's what the fuck is going on in Colorado right now. Even though motherfuckers act like Prime is the singular black coach in America right now. Even though right now in the United States of America, you got about 14, 15 other black coaches right now. I'm just going to give you some notable ones, okay? James Franklin is a black man who coaches Penn State. Penn State is a historic program, okay? Historic program. Y'all know about Penn State, even if you just know about the huge scandal they had with Jerry Sandusky, okay? But you know about Penn State. Their former head coach, Joe Paterno, and all them motherfucking wins he had, it was him and Bobby Bowden that was up there all time for FBS wins. Joe Paterno. Penn State's a legendary program. They're headed by a black man right now, James Franklin. Motherfuckers ain't fucking with James Franklin like that. Mel Tucker, who just got fired, but he was at Michigan State. Well, nobody fucking with Mel Tucker like that. With him getting fired, I don't see nobody raising hell like that. If Prime was to get fired, folks would, Lord, they might march. I don't know the way they acting right now. Colorado State, I'm just mentioning them because we just saw Jay Norvell, a black man, he had a black defensive coordinator as well, just went up against Prime. Black America was against that motherfucker in that game. Black America made him feel like he wasn't a black man, goddamn. Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a blue blood program. Notre Dame is a storied program. They're led by a black man. For the second time in their history, if I'm not mistaken. I know they had Ty Willingham previously. But right now they're led by Marcus Freeman. They just had a tough game, top 10 game versus Ohio State. I ain't see no black folk talking about that shit. Why not? Because it's the type of black person you are. First of all, Prime is a celebrity. These other motherfuckers are not a celebrity. And black people, like the rest of the populace, love a celebrity. I'm not just gonna say it's our people that love a celebrity, because white people voted Donald Trump to be the president off him being a celebrity. I don't know if we're gonna go that far. I hope we won't. I hope we ain't went that far with this shit. But America has a thing for celebrities, so that's part of it. But also, it's the kind of black man that Prime is. It's very similar to Allen Iverson. Okay, when AI came into the league, the NBA was already 80% black. But a lot of them cats wasn't representing the hoods that they were coming from. You still were being buttoned up unless you were Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was the bad boy. Okay. Charles Barkley was a bad boy. But Charles Barkley ain't had no tattoos, ain't no piercings, nothing like that. Charles Barkley will cuss your ass out, and he talks like a motherfucker that's from your hood. You know what I'm talking about? But he ain't dressed like a motherfucker that's from your hood. See, AI had the cornrows that matched hip hop. He had the tattoos, and this is post Tupac. So a lot of motherfuckers rocking tats in the hood and shit like that. You related to that. You know what I'm talking about? He looked like the motherfuckers that were outside your doorstep. You feel me? So folks gravitated towards AI in a way that they didn't gravitate to other great basketball players at the time. So it's the way that Prime carries himself with the shades and the cap and the chains and the give me my theme music and his relationships with these rappers and shit like that. All that shit has enthralled the black community. But here's the thing. Like I said with the Fab Five, they did that shit at a PWI that I think they would argue didn't value them in the right way at the time. Now, obviously, they're still down with the university. Juwan Howard is currently the head basketball coach of the university. Jalen Rose supports that. But Chris Webber will tell you shit. These motherfuckers making all this money off of me at a time that I couldn't afford pizza. So he was making all that money for a university, but because of NCAA rules and all that kind of shit, he couldn't benefit from his name, image, and likeness at that time. Georgetown, Miami, all these places got a questionable history when it comes to our people outside of athletics. If you go back far enough, hell, you got a questionable history with us in athletics. So then that brings us to Colorado. At the same damn time that Colorado is being hailed as Black America's team, at the same damn time that Colorado is being facetiously referred to as an HBCU, you have this shit going on. Okay. And I'm quoting a tweet here. It says 4 women of color faculty were pushed out of the University of Colorado Boulder School of Education. Okay. And I read the entire article that was attached. I encourage you to do the same. But I just want to read to you some of the scathing shit that was in this, what they call a shadow report with redactions. Okay. It says, I'm reading this verbatim. The University of Colorado Boulder has a continual history of rampant and unbridled anti-blackness. Let me run that back. This from motherfuckers that are on the ground in academia out there. It says the University of Colorado Boulder has a continual history of rampant and unbridled anti-blackness. These motherfuckers didn't say in the past, they said this shit is continual. This Black America school. This an HBCU, let these motherfuckers tell them. They say the systematic bullying, denigration, and surveillance of women of color faculty and black women faculty in particular was excessive, obvious, and undeniable. It goes on to say this, okay? Check this shit out. While the School of Education and CU as a whole might be intoxicated by the continued exploitation of black bodies during this football season as new waves of preeminence, distinction, and prestige roll in, bolstered by 60 million in additional revenue on merchandise alone, and of the bondage and servitude of new black student athletes, who, of course, have a host of support and resources for holistic being not afforded to the larger student body. We remind our community members that other students, faculty, and staff also inhabit these spaces of higher education and are being abused brazenly and without apology. We are the casualties that go undiscovered because we are seen as disposable and usable equipment for the larger gain of the institution. This is the fucking place that's being held as Black America's team, as an HBCU, by some. You can't make this shit up. Hollywood writers are on strike. If they came back tonight, they couldn't write this shit. They couldn't write it. They couldn't write it. Later on, they call what they're going through out there, or they likened it to a rhetorical lynching. A rhetorical lynching. You know how so many black people were lynched, literally lynched, after being falsely accused of something? That's what these motherfuckers are saying is happening out there in a rhetorical sense. And we calling this shit Black America's team. And I gotta call it Black America's team because that's all Black America's fucking talking about right now. It's these motherfuckers. Like I said, that's the problem. One of the women quote tweeted the piece. This is Dr. Tierra Shante Tanksley. She said, "Wow, I am in tears. Thank you to the writers for giving voice to what has been one of the most traumatic and toxic professional experiences of my adult life. I resigned from my position at CU Boulder School of Education this summer. I am one of the 4 women of color." We gotta stop this shit, y'all. And be real. And be real about some shit. Colorado is a predominantly white institution. Very few of the students there are black. Very few of the residents of the city are black. Very few of the people who are in power are black people. They hired Deion Sanders to revitalize their program using his celebrity, his cachet, to recruit black people, to recruit young black men to come out there and play football so they can make some money and increase the stature of the university. He said he would. $5 million per year was worth that to him. And letting his kids be on the bigger stage was worth that to him. Well, let's call this shit what it is. Let's call this shit what it is now. Because there's some fuck shit going on out there. And we got to start paying more close attention to this fuck shit. Okay? And don't just be enamored by the fucking sports. And I'm speaking as somebody who used to be a part of the fucking problem. I'm speaking as somebody who was a lifelong fan of the University of North Carolina's basketball team because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But see, something happened. Something happened that supposedly shook up things here in America. Something happened that supposedly had galvanized us and stimulated us to action. Something happened that really put everything out in the open. Ain't that what Johnny Taylor said? Everything's out in the open. That's what he said. And that was the public lynching of George Floyd. When that shit happened, everything was out. Nothing in my lifetime, I'm born in 1984, nothing in my lifetime has made it clearer how everybody fucking feels than that shit. Some people showed their hand during the Obama administration. But with Obama being a Democrat, some people could cloak or mask the dislike of him within politics. They could say, well, he's pro-choice and I'm pro-life, so I can't like what he. They can say that he increased taxes on the wealthy and that they are for decreasing taxes. They can say that, well, he increased regulation and they are for free markets and deregulation. They can say all of those fucking things and not say what might be truly in their heart, which is, I don't like having who I perceive as a nigger to be the president. But when it came to the lynching of George Floyd, you saw a man unarmed just get brutally murdered, calling for his mama. And so if you felt some type of way about that, if instead of Black Lives Matter, you one of these motherfuckers that just had to say all lives matter or blue lives matter, if you had to go out there and counter protests against Black Lives Matter protesters and shit like that, if you one of these motherfuckers that latched on to this anti-woke shit, if you one of these motherfuckers that did that type of shit, everything was out in the open and you saw it clearly where people stood. And in the midst of all that, see, I saw that the school I used to fuck with in terms of their basketball team, University of North Carolina, they did something very similarly to what these women out here in Boulder going through. They shitted on one of the preeminent scholars of our time, Nicole Hannah Jones, the woman who put together the 1619 Project. They shitted on her. North Carolina did. Michael Jordan's North Carolina did. James Worthy's North Carolina did. Vince Carter's North Carolina did that. So that shit showed me clearly these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about my humanity as a black person. They just give a fuck about them boys playing basketball. And for what it seems like from that damn article right there, that's the type of shit that may be going on out there in Colorado. That what it sounds like. So we gotta start the bullshit now. We gotta start the bullshit. And I've said and I'll say it again. If you're black, you ought to be thinking black. If you're black, you ought to be thinking black. We in the 2020s. And that's a quote I get from Malcolm X, who said that shit in the 1960s. He said that shit 60 years ago. We still got folks that ain't thinking black. See, you think because you sit rooting for Deion and that's thinking black. But Prime is just enriching these motherfuckers that's on some white supremacy shit. Let the women on the ground tell it. This ain't fur talking. I ain't never been no motherfucking CU Boulder. But you got folks on the ground there who say shit like this about it. The University of Colorado Boulder has a continual history of rampant and unbridled anti-blackness. So basically, fuck y'all unless you can run this ball for us. And if y'all don't do that shit well, you're gonna have to move around. Come on, man. Come on, man. So don't just think black on the surface level. You feel me? And like I pointed out earlier, most black people who go to college go to PWIs. Fine, you might go for whatever reason. You might be from a part of the country that ain't got no HBCU. Cool, I understand. Hell, I went to a PWI for undergrad, Southern Mississippi, and I do not devalue that decision. It's one of the best decisions I made in my life. You don't get the person that you get right here without me making that decision. But I ain't never denigrate, talk down on Jack State University or Alcorn State University or Mississippi Valley State University. Wasn't doing that. That shit black run. That's our shit. Southern Miss ain't our shit. Mississippi State ain't our shit. Ole Miss ain't our shit. Colorado is not our shit. They got a black head coach, got a black quarterback. That is not our shit. Institutionally. Okay. What I mean by that, it's not our shit. It's not run by us. The culture is not us. You feel me? It's not. It's not. If it was, you wouldn't be having this shit that I just read to you going on. So if you're at one of these institutions, I've said it before, I challenge you, still adopt you an HBCU. Adopt that. You feel me? Whether you went there or not. You got some kinfolks went that motherfucker, adopt it. If you just got a favorite one, adopt it. You just like the jerseys, adopt it. I don't give a fuck if you went to school at all. Adopt one. Because it's the 2020s. I thought we were finna have the Harlem Renaissance Part 2 around this bitch like we had in the 1920s, the 2020s, 100 years later, we about to have some of the same shit. Was I proven wrong? Was I proven wrong? Is all that had to happen to stop the fucking movement that was launched once that black man was lynched out there. Was all that had to happen to stop the fucking movement was the NBA started back hooping, the NFL started back balling, and Prime left Jack State University to go to Colorado. That's all these motherfuckers had to do to stop the motherfucking Renaissance. Damn, we ain't had shit then. We ain't had no fucking movement then. We had a moment. We ain't gonna get free off no fucking moment. We ain't. So yes, Colorado is, as of right now, Black America's team. Just like Michigan was, just like Georgetown, just like Miami was. Some might say UNLV, back when they had Larry Johnson in there. But I challenge us to embrace one of these institutions that truly is ours. And that doesn't mean that you have to stop watching PWI shit or big time shit. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that at all. But you got to recognize that you do have a place that wants your support, that needs your support, a place that Your culture is on display at all times. Went to the Jack State Bethune-Cookman game today. Probably about 25,000 black folks up in that motherfucker. Our culture on full display. Wasn't no anti-blackness up in that bitch. Wasn't no anti-blackness up in that bitch. Just vibes. Just positive vibes. It's okay to root for Prime, because if he fails, it is. It's like an indictment on all of us. Kind of like when Obama was president. There was some years, wasn't it? When Obama was president, saying like, if something went wrong, motherfuckers blame not just him, they blame all of us. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was some pressure. That's slick how it is with Prime. Even though you do have all these other black coaches, but I guess Prime in a lot of people's eyes is the one that's acting black. So if he take a L, it's like, see, their way of doing business doesn't work. We told y'all something that they have to assimilate to our way of doing things. And if they don't assimilate to our way of doing things, they remain a backwards people. You feel me? So I get it. You want to see Prime succeed because it's like you succeeding a little bit. But I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of motherfucking schools out here that run by black folk, charismatic black people, but they couldn't run a 4-2 for breakfast. They didn't play for the Dallas Cowboys or San Francisco 49ers like that. But they need your support too, dog. Don't forget about them. Because Black America, you got plenty of teams to root for. Put it on some.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel, because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.